Yo, what's up, guys? This is Pete over at Fusion Corp coming at you with our first video. As I said, my name is Pete. I'm going to be doing this channel with my good friend Bernie. This is just going to be me on this first video. We're going to have some more stuff coming in the future. But to get started, we thought it would be nice to do a nice little Dragon Ball Super review for you for episode 103, Gohan, Show No Mercy, Showdown with Universe 10. So to start it off, I'll give you a brief little recap. So the episode starts off with, the realization for Universe 2 and all the universes that Kakunsa of the Magical Girls has been eliminated. Ribrianne immediately, rages out. She's got her big heart eyes going, flames in the background. And then she's like, Android 17, I'm gonna fucking beat your ass, bro. I'm coming for you. I'm coming. But we cut over, Goku's still fighting Suroas, right? He's getting kind of lit up by all her, energy blasts, the ki blasts. They're coming at him. She's kind of doing some weird feints that he's not used to, but he's doing his typical Goku thing where he's getting his ass beat, but he knows that, what he's doing. He's learning her techniques. He's learning her style of fighting. So it's all in the best interest for him. So now he knows another different way of fighting. And this comes into play later in the episode for Gohan. Has a very similar style of fighting that he's come up against. But I'll get to that in just a second. So, we keep going. Android 17's kind of having a face-off with Ribrianne. But they fight for about a few seconds, kind of go at it. But then Android 17 sees Goku's about to get worked over. He comes over, uses the barrier, the infamous barrier that he likes to use, deflect those ki blasts, saves Goku. I mean, saves him in quotes, but you know what I mean. Like, Goku's fine. He's still in base form, so he's not really going at it. He probably could eliminate all the magical girls in a second, but we know the power scaling in Super is a little crazy, so let's not overthink it too much. So after that, Goku, Android 17, they're about to start working over the magical girls, but then Yardrat, apparently his name is Jimezu, he comes over, uses instant transmission, comes in, saves the two of them, retreat, fight another day kind of thing. And, in a few seconds from now, it cuts back to them. He eliminates somebody, this Yardrat, Jimezu. I think we've all underestimated the Yardrat. I think he had a lot of hype, got his ass beat by Khalifa, and then, now we're understanding this guy is not to be messed with, He's got some skills, even though it sounds like, he is realizing that Goku's instant transmission is pretty powerful as well. So it's pretty interesting, to see this Yardrat who has no knowledge of Universe 7's Yardrat, possibly. We don't know. But he definitely didn't expect what looks like a human, but he knows that Yardrat are the inventor of the instant transmission technique. So he's learning that Goku not only has the ability to use instant transmission, but he's good at it. He's learning Goku's got the skills too. So it's kind of interesting. He is realizing that maybe he's not cut out to win the tournament, but if anybody is, the magical girls are. This, it keeps open that possible fusion that was rumored between the magical girls. There's still two of them alive, or not alive, but still left in the tournament remaining. So we'll see. It could happen. Maybe he realizes that that's their only chance if they fuse. So, Universe 2 is not out. We've got some more stuff coming from them, but we'll see how that goes. From there, we cut over. Gohan and Piccolo are doing their thing together. We're finally getting that team up that we've wanted for so long. Gohan and Piccolo, master apprentice, father and son, more so than Goku and Gohan. Then we got Botamo. We got Winnie the Pooh, some bear tits coming out. They kind of led you on to think that maybe, Gohan wouldn't know what Botamo's, technique ability is, which is the ability to, either distribute attacks or just push them to somewhere else, somewhere where he's not feeling them. He's not taking any damage. We don't know if Gohan knows that or not. And then, Goku comes over to watch Gohan, and Piccolo, addresses this with Goku. And, very quickly we learn that Gohan knows more than we thought he did. He's doing a plan that not even Vegeta or Goku thought up, which is to use so much force with his punches, so much speed, to, push Botamo up in the air and backwards at the same time, while staying underneath his fat belly and those big old bear tits. Like I said, he's staying underneath him so he can't get hit. Botamo is, helpless in this situation. It's just great animation. It looks super cool. Then we get Gohan just hits him with a giant ki blast, which isn't necessarily, meant for the power. It's meant for, it's just meant for the force, the sheer force of pushing him back as fast as he can. That's why the ki blast is so big. He shoots him back with everything he can. Looks like he's going out. Man, this was awesome storytelling for Gohan. We have seen him fail so many times in the spotlight, and Botamo is not a Cell. He's not a Boo. He's nobody crazy. It's Botamo. He got eliminated first in the Universe 6 tournament. It's not crazy to eliminate Botamo. Vegeta almost did it already in this tournament. But this whole scene is showing that, not only is Master Roshi overcoming his biggest weakness, which is women for him, right? But for Gohan, it's his overconfidence, arrogance. Gohan is learning. This tournament, he knows if he does the same kind of screw-ups that he has in the past, Videl, Pan, his dad, his mom, Goten, they're all dead, And I think that he, in his training with Piccolo, in, that little arc right around like episode 88, 89, he's learning, I can't do those same things. And, I think this episode goes to show that Gohan has changed as a fighter, I think he's overcoming the biggest weaknesses that he has in the past, as well as he's learning not only from his father and Piccolo, but, from the enemies that he's fought in the past, And it's perfectly demonstrated, like I was saying. Botamo is like, I'm going to take you out with me. Gohan has turned his back. The Supreme Kai and Elder Kai and Beerus, they all think, oh man, Gohan's done. He's done for. Except Gohan turns around, blasts him. That's just great storytelling. It goes to show that Gohan's training is actually paying off. He's learning. He's not making mistakes that he has in the past, which is, that is the biggest fault of all the Z fighters. They always make the same mistakes over and over again, especially the Saiyans with their overconfidence. And this time, he didn't let his guard slip. He stepped up to the plate, and he took out Botamo, getting his first, I think, elimination, maybe. If anybody's watching this, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Appreciate that. All right. So after Gohan eliminates Botamo, we have some Universe 10 fighters. We've got Obuni, who's got some weird-looking nipple abs. Those are freaky. That looks creepy. Then we got Rubalt, the two of them, right? Obuni is the one that fights Gohan. He's apparently pretty strong. Seems like he might actually have been the strongest Universe 10 fighter. Napapa was pretty strong too. He did some work when he was in there, but as we know, he got eliminated a couple episodes ago. But Obuni has this strange technique where he can feint his energy, essentially, right? Where he is moving his body and his energy in a way that a Saiyan, or any fighter in particular that knows how to read energy, is not capable of sensing exactly where they are. It's similar to like a cloning technique that Piccolo does, or even Goku Black in the Future Trunks arc we just had. But Gohan has some difficulties with this. I mean, Gohan didn't fight Goku Black, so he wasn't ready for that, in that sense. He knows the cloning technique because he's seen it, but it's different. It's not necessarily a cloning technique. He's splitting his body almost into, 5 different energy signatures. It's kind of crazy. It's really, this if this tournament of power is good for anything, which it's good for a lot of things, but specifically I think like the variation of powers has been incredible. They've done a really good job of like writing unique and interesting techniques that all these universes are presenting that the Z fighters have never seen, or they're variations of techniques that Universe 7 has seen, which that's awesome. In my opinion, that's super cool. Piccolo fights Rubalt in this scene, and Piccolo is, man, he's doing the classic, Z fighter thing. You get your ass kicked for a second, get that data, get some data, get his ass beat, get the data, and then he throws up this crazy ki blast thing where he just shoots them all around him, lights him up. Rubalt's out. Piccolo gets an elimination. Super cool way to, show Piccolo's not playing around anymore either. Piccolo's gotten a lot stronger. I mean, we knew all these characters have gotten a lot stronger since we've seen them fight last, but the power scaling is wacky. I mean, I said it earlier. It's crazy. It's Dragon Ball though, so just watch it. It is what it is. I love it. If you love it, this is the channel for you. So stay tuned. Let's keep going though. So I thought this scene was pretty interesting. I've already mentioned it, but Gohan is learning from his dad, fighting style wise. He is kind of doing the thing that Goku did against Hit in the Universe 6 tournament, where he's letting Obuni kind of work him over, but he's doing it all in the attempt to get data. He wants to know how it is that Obuni is not, he can't sense Obuni's energy or why he's so fast, So, rather than run away to fight another day, he kind of lets himself get worked over a bit. Eventually, he goes into what, his mystic form. I don't think this is his full power. I think that would be pretty crazy if he's fighting in the same power level that it took for Goku, Super Saiyan Blue, Kaioken to defeat him in against Obuni. I think that'd be a little crazy. That power scaling's too wacky for me. So I think he's suppressing his energy like Goku did against Kale a couple episodes ago when everybody was freaking out about the walking through the Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha. I think this is the same thing. Gohan is suppressing his energy, but it's all in an attempt to not only save his energy for later in the fight, but, like I said, he's learning from this fight. So we keep going. Gohan throws out just incredibly animated Kamehameha. It looks so cool. In my opinion, other than the father-son Kamehameha from the Cell arc, obviously everybody knows that. This is one of my favorite Gohan Kamehamehas. This is super cool. The backdrop of this, of the void with him up in the air, and then you have just the energy accumulating at his hands. It looks incredible. Like, the colors are just so cool. They contrast super well. From there, we have Universe 10. Gohan eliminates Obuni. Let's just clear that up too. So Obuni being the last member of Universe 10, we have every member eliminated from the Universe 10 team. Grand Priest steps up and says, Universe 10, you're done. Time to get out of here. And the Zenos, future Zeno, present Zeno, they erase Universe 10. This one is not necessarily as emotional as the first one, just because we've seen a universe get erased at this point. But this one is kind of interesting. There's a lot of interesting points that come up right here. First and foremost, we see the angel Kusu or Kus. I don't know whichever one. I've seen both. But we see the angel from Universe 10. She is legitimately sad, which is highly interesting considering some of the, major theories going around in the Dragon Ball Super community related to the angels and, their place within this storyline, this arc. But we'll come back to that in just a few minutes. Gohan also sees a picture of Obuni with his wife and kids in like a locket type thing. And you can obviously see that there's a second where Gohan is, emotional. I think he's has this clear moment of realization, like that easily could have been me. That could have been a picture with me and Videl and Pan. But then he has this realization, like, yeah, it could have been me. Let's not let it be me, which is a major, major departure from the more human Gohan that we've seen in the past. In a good way, though. It's not bad storytelling. It's not like, he's made a complete character change. It's more like he's growing up, He's more of a fighter. He has more of a fighter spirit, and he has this will to survive that, he hasn't necessarily shown in the past. And I think part of that comes with the fact that this isn't a singular enemy he's fighting. And, you guys can tell me what you think about this in the comments, but I think it's pretty interesting in the sense that when Gohan, we've seen him fight in the past and screw up, he's fighting a singular enemy. He's fighting one person, and I think his confidence relies in the fact that it's me versus this person. I can win if it's one-on-one. But he is being, other than Piccolo, probably the smartest. Maybe Master Roshi's in there too. He seems to be doing his thing in this tournament as well. But I think he's realizing like this tournament is not going to be easy. He knows that more than anybody. In the sense that there's so many enemies to fight. Obuni is just some dude. He was the last guy on this Universe 10 team. He had a crazy technique, but Gohan didn't even have to go full power to beat him. So, I don't know. I think he knows that his overconfidence in this setting would be even harder to survive with than against Boo or Cell, So, we'll see. I honestly, I think the days of Gohan screwing up are done and over with, in the sense that I don't think he's going to make the mistakes that we've seen the Z Fighters, especially him, make over and over again. But we'll see how that goes. So after this, like I said, Gohan, he powers through and continues, and then that's when we get the narrator comes in. Episode 103 is in the books. So let's talk about a few key points from this episode that I thought were very interesting. I've touched on them a little bit, but I want to just go back. These are the three, major things that I thought were important, not only to this episode, but the grand scheme of this arc and the story of Dragon Ball Super in general. The first, like I was talking about earlier, is overcoming weaknesses. And I think, like I said, Gohan is the key example of this, along with Master Roshi. They have both shown in the limelight that they have learned greatly from what they have done in the past, and continuing on with Gohan, his leadership role was really questioned, not only by the people in the show, the characters, but the community as a whole was questioning whether he had the ability to lead the Universe 7 team. And I think, this episode has shown in spades that he was the right choice. I thought he was the right choice to begin with. You can't pick Piccolo because there's a good chance that he can get eliminated from the start. You can't choose Goku. He's Goku or Vegeta for that matter. They're both in the same boat. You know what I'm saying. Gohan is the perfect choice for this team. He is everything that you need in a leader. He can make it to the end of the tournament. He's smart. He's more human in the sense that he is, he's less arrogant than Goku and Vegeta, but he's, he still has some of it. But I think this episode, like I said, is a great example of why Gohan was the right choice. And I think when this tournament is said and done, when we're all over it, I think everybody's going to look back on it and say, you know what, Gohan definitely was the right choice. This Universe 7 team wouldn't have done better with Goku as the leader or Vegeta as the leader. They picked the right person. Key point 2 is, will Goku learn from his weakness, right? We've seen some of the other characters do it, and I think throughout the course of Super, Goku's weaknesses have been a major focal point for all the characters involved. Goku, his weakness, obviously, letting his guard down. He shows too much, maybe not sympathy, but he shows too much restraint in fights in the sense that he, will do everything in his power to push all of the energy from his opponent in the sense that he wants the greatest fight possible. And in the course of doing that, he will, let his guard down against people who aren't to be trusted, And I think all the Saiyans are guilty of this. Obviously, Goku and Gohan having some of the biggest moments of this. Gohan has already showed that he's learning from this. But I think that, and this is going to lead me to a theory for later on in the tournament, I think when it's said and done, like I've heard Geekdom say he thinks that Gohan is going to win the tournament, but I disagree. I think Gohan will play a major role in the tournament. He already is, but I think his elimination will be the catalyst for, the greater things of the tournament, and for Goku learning from his weakness. I think there's going to be a point in the tournament towards the end where Goku is fighting Jiren, or, according to some other things, maybe it's going to be Toppo, maybe it'll even be Hit, maybe it'll be Frieza. We don't know, but it's going to be one of the final people, right? One of the more powerful opponents in this tournament. And I think that Goku is going to, make the same mistake that he always makes. He's going to let his guard down against an opponent who's powering up or weak at that moment. And Gohan, in a moment of, leadership, but also like Goku is his dad is the strongest fighter for Universe 7. If he's eliminated, that will really put our universe in jeopardy. So I think Gohan will save Goku, right? I think he's going to get himself eliminated in the process of saving Goku. But I think that this self-realization by Goku, right, that his weakness has eliminated his son and put his universe in jeopardy again, is, it's going to be the catalyst for whatever transformation or power-up he's going to get. I think it's all but this, it's a foregone conclusion that Goku, by the end of this arc, will be powered up in some major way, whether it's the primal transformation I've heard some things about, or, whether it's just a better version of Super Saiyan Blue, whether it's that red hair, the maroon haired thing I saw some leaks about. Who knows? But there's going to be a transformation. It's a fact. So this realization he's going to have is going to push him to new heights as a fighter. It's the limit breaking thing we've heard so much about, and I think Goku's limits are all they're based around his weaknesses. Obviously, we've seen time and time again, as far as just sheer power is concerned, Goku has no limits. So the limits that he's referring to, or the limits that Toei is referring to, are, in my opinion, not necessarily based on sheer power. I think they're based on his limitations as a person, a human, and a Saiyan, So I think by the end of this arc, we're going to see him break through some of those barriers we've seen him, you know, ram his head into over and over again and not make any progress. And hopefully it's a kind of a departure from stupid Goku, you know, kind of the childish, not child Goku we've seen this whole series, which I don't mind, but it would be nice to see him grow up the way that some of the other characters are growing up. He's one of the oldest characters, you know, and he's still like mentally a child, you know. So let's get to the last point, and I think that this might be one of the, you know, the biggest implications. This has some of the biggest implications of all the points that I've made. And obviously people are going to be talking about this to death, but it is a major thing to talk about. And that is Kusu and her reaction to Universe 10 being eliminated. This reaction, you know, it definitely makes you question the evil angels theory, but it doesn't debunk the theory, in my opinion, right? It can't debunk the theory because the Grand Priest has done some very suspect things. Mojito, angel from Universe 9, right? The one that was already eliminated, he is, you know, obviously very suspect, you know, smiling. He kind of did the weird like Attack on Titan grin thing that they do. That's super creepy. He's just looks horrifying, you know. But after his universe is eliminated, all those people dead, the trio de dangers, you know, he's smiling, you know. So that lends all sorts of credence to this evil angels theory. But Kusu's reaction, you know, it makes you wonder if not all the angels are evil, if not all the angels are in on this plan, if there even is a plan. Maybe there's not a plan. Maybe some of the angels are just upset and the seeds of, you know, unrest are kind of being planted in our heads, and maybe some of us have just been taking the theory too far too soon, you know. Maybe were supposed to just get hints that the evil angels was going to happen in the future. So by that, you know, by that measure, this makes you wonder if Kusu is going to be either on the side of the mortals or the gods of destruction. I don't know how you would say that because there's a lot of people on that side other than the angels. But you know, we wonder if Whis would be on their side, right? I would hope so. Whis is one of my favorite characters, but I think that, you know, I like to think that Whis would be on the side of Beerus and all the humans and Saiyans and everybody from Universe 7, right? But this could be something to do, like Kusu could be on their side possibly when that time comes, if it ever does come. It's pretty interesting. It's almost her reaction is more of an emotional reaction than we've seen from any of the angels, more so than Vados, more so than Whis, any of them. You know, we've seen them laugh and be happy, but we've never seen them genuinely sad, you know? And I think that this sadness is like, when you see a character that's actually sad, especially in an animated project or a video game, it's like them at their most human, like the most real moment. So seeing that this angel has this crazy sadness, you know, over her universe dying is really interesting. So that you know, that wraps up this episode. I think this episode really has, it wasn't super fan servicey other than some of the Gohan stuff, like the other episodes were, like the Kale Broly stuff, or even the Magical Girls, which, like some people were talking about, Geekdom in particular, that is an extremely fan servicey episode. I loved it. I love this episode, man. This was a great episode. I actually think I like this episode more than I liked episode 100, which was a fabulous episode. I think this one is better. I think it tells a more complete story from the beginning of the episode to the end, and I think that the implications on not only the tournament but the overall story of Super are so greatly affected by this episode when it comes down to it, or they're going to be, I should say, that this episode will be, it's going to be a very important episode in the long run. because we're going to see a lot of character developments, not only that happened in this episode, but continue to develop because of this episode. You know, last thing I'm going to talk about next episode, I don't want to make a separate video for this. It's, there's not too much to talk about for the next episode other than the extremely exciting fact that Super Saiyan God is returning, which to me is really exciting because I love that design. I like that design much more than I like Super Saiyan Blue. But I will say this. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me because there are so many moments, and they could take this right back at me and explain it super well, but Toei doesn't explain anything very well. So why is Goku going back to Super Saiyan God at this point in the story now? Why? I hope they explain it. I love the design visually. I think it's incredible. But why would he come back to it? Other than the reason we have from the manga, which is it's merely to save stamina, right? And maybe they're going to bring back the healing factor, which would be, in terms of this arc, the most powerful tool that Universe 7 has. And maybe we'll even see Vegeta do it like he just recently did in the manga. Sorry for the spoiler on that. But maybe we will see Super Saiyan God from Vegeta as well as Goku. But other than that, we have some extra hype. I can't wait. Goku tag team with Hit. The best tag team since the Hardy Boys. We got Super Saiyan God Goku and Hit going at it with Universe 11 Pride Troopers. We have Dispo, Super Speed Warrior, as well as someone else. I didn't see what the other guy, I didn't even see what he looked like for more than a second. Not going to lie, I didn't look up his name. It's probably out there somewhere, but he's clearly not the focus. It's going to be Dispo, who this episode could have some revelations as to why he looks so similar to Beerus and Champa. Maybe. It might be nothing. It might just be kind of a reused design of a character. We have some other similar looking characters from other universes, so it could be nothing more than they happen to look alike, or they could be from the same race. We don't know. We don't know, but we will learn. This next episode, is going to be good. Universe 11, they're obviously the biggest foes, so this is going to be a great episode for Super. This arc just keeps getting better and better, in my opinion, so I have no doubts that the next episode is going to be good. Stay tuned, you guys. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button, like button if you want. Next week, we're going to have another Super review up, hopefully sooner. Hopefully not on Sunday, hopefully Saturday night. We don't know, though. Okay? Stay tuned. We're going to put out some more stuff. This is not necessarily just a Dragon Ball channel. We're going to have other content on here as well. So if you like what you hear, come back again, please. Thank you very much. Have a good day.